am a mindset and confidence coach, and I have decided to start this YouTube journey for one, because I also enjoy watching other people do vlogs and see their own unique lives. I think it's really interesting. Also, because I want to be able to see my own growth and progression since starting my business, literally only 2 months ago. I might not get many subscribers or whatever, but I think it'll be really special to see the growth from where I've started my business to wherever it's going to land, which is going to be so beautiful. This video is just my reflection over the weekend I've just had. I've just been on a trip to Gold Coast from the Friday to Sunday with my own mindset and confidence coach, Chelsea Rocker. It was hands down like the best experience of my life. I've taken home so much that I am really grateful to be able to learn from and also sort of apply into my business as well. And I'm very grateful for all the lessons I have learned, and I thought I would just break down what the weekend looked like. Basically, a few weeks ago when I had signed up to go on this retreat, also really nervous, also shitting myself, basically just like, this is my first time really doing anything solo, as something that I am also learning myself is how to be a very independent person and not take other people's opinions, or I need to get people's advice on things and just trust my own instincts. I, without any sort of discussion with anyone else within my little circle, I just went, you know what? I'm booking this. I am booking this trip. I am saying yes to my own self-growth, and I am so grateful that I did. Booked it in, and then Chelsea put me in a group chat with all the other girls that are going, just so we can also discuss any sort of relevant information moving forward. I thought, you know what? I'm going to put myself out there, because the flight that I booked was quite early the Friday of the retreat, and we were to check into the Airbnb at 4 p.m. I was like, well, I'm going to be there for majority of the day. I want to see if anyone wants to hang out with me and get to know all these women. I put in the group chat, I was like, hi, my name's Brie. I'm from Melbourne. I've got a really early flight. If anyone wants to hang, that'd be awesome. So I did that, and another girl put in the group chat that she was also from Melbourne and had an early flight. Obviously, we started private messaging, and I was like, oh my God, what flight is yours? And we had the exact same flight, which was just like, oh my gosh, like the universe is clearly doing something here, right? We were getting to know each other within the couple of weeks before the trip had come up. And then on the Friday, got up early. My partner drove me to the airport. This was my first flight on my own. I've only done flights with my family and stuff, and pretty much international, not really domestic. It was all really new to me, and I had a lot to learn. And yep, you know, checked in, all was good. I messaged this girl, I was like, oh, are you at the gate? She's like, I'm actually already on the plane, just boarded on. And I was like, all right, I'll see you on the plane. Walking onto the plane, and I just see her, and we just had this moment, and I was like, you know, she's like, you're Brianna? I was like, yeah. And we're talking, and I look up at like the aisle, like number, realize we're in the same row. Like, what is, like, that is such a massive coincidence. But like, her seat was on the like other side of the row, then you had like the aisle, and then I was on the other side. So we couldn't really talk during the flight because there was people like between us. And then we landed, and then we were happy to hang out for most of the day. We went straight to the Airbnb because Chelsea said that we could drop our stuff there, but she didn't want us to see the Airbnb. So we dropped off our stuff, and then we went to a cafe that was nearby called The Paddock, which was gorgeous, like amazing food, amazing drinks. Did that, got to know each other, and then we got an Uber to Pacific Fair. Just shopping and just looked around. We saw a couple of like famous people, like, oh my God, look at that person. Oh my God, it's that person. It was very funny. Did window shopping, you know, trying to save money. We still had a bit of time to kill. So we went to the movies. We watched Snow White, which, by the way, reviews, it was actually a really good movie. I know people are saying that it's not a good movie. It's a great movie. Anyways, I loved it. Had a tear in my eye. So we watched Snow White, our Uber to the Airbnb, and got to meet all the other beautiful women that were there on the retreat. Like, got our room, and we got our itinerary. which was really exciting to see what we're going to be doing. Then we did a reflection task just to reflect on what we would like to gain from this experience. And then Chelsea would say to take up space. So we all would share our answers and how we're feeling. And it was a very vulnerable experience. Once we had done that, had tacos for dinner. So good. Ready for bed. That was good. I actually slept so well, weirdly enough. And then it was next morning, 5 a.m. wake up. But that's just the culture over in Gold Coast, Sydney area, when you live near the beach and stuff like that. As for myself, where I live in a small country town, nowhere near the beach, it's just unheard of. It's so easy to get up at 5 a.m. when you're over there. It was so easy to get up at 5 o'clock. And we did our first sort of boot camp workout, which was very emotional for me. I think it was probably the most emotional experience out of the whole entire retreat, which we had slam balls, like medicine balls. We had to write down something we want to let go of. So I put down fear of failure. Hence why I'm such a dependable person, because I would go to my parents or friends to help me with certain aspects of my life or decision making, because I couldn't trust myself. It was a thing that I've been working on, even especially started this business. I just went, what, stuff it. I'm not having to go to people for them to decide my own sort of decisions in my life. That was the thing I was letting go of. We would run around with the medicine ball and it would be so heavy. We slammed the medicine ball so hard, I put a massive dint in the lawn. We did the slam balls and Chelsea played the song Hope by NF, which is just such a powerful song in itself. And literally the line that it says, I don't want you to feel like a failure, it was just ugh. It's just literally the thing that I obviously wrote on my medicine ball, and it was the thing that resonated with me the most. And it was just so powerful. I have never done a medicine ball slam so hard and fast in my life. It was just so releasing. And we did a little workout with our medicine balls as well. And then we took up space. I reflected a lot on my mum. I will mention it in this video. The reason why I started my business was obviously because I have a passion for it, but also because of my mum. I don't want to get emotional in this video either. About a year ago, my mum, she just had a fall. She literally just had a fall, basically just grazed her knee. Now her whole life is completely changed. You would not think that you would have just one little fall and your whole life would just be changed in a flick of a switch. She's got a condition called CRPS, chronic regional pain syndrome, or CRPS. It's almost like your brain detaches your limbs and it causes the most extreme pain in the world. It's now spread within my mum's body and she's basically wheelchair bound. She can't walk. And this is probably going to be for the rest of her life. And she's always in the most extreme pain. The pain is higher than childbirth. Literally just from one little thing that happened in a flick of a switch, her whole life has changed. And it made me realize that we literally can't just take things for granted. We cannot take life for granted. Can't sweat the small stuff because you do not know what tomorrow looks like. You could go to bed tonight and then not wake up tomorrow. And one thing that I really reflected on since my mother's incident is the fact that I don't want to be in my 80s or whatever, pretty much towards the end of my life, and reflect on my life experience and regret anything. I didn't take this opportunity, or I didn't live my life to the complete potential that I could have done. When we were doing this exercise at the retreat, yes, it was fucking hard. But the thing that I reflected the most was I couldn't take it for granted. My mum would love and wish to be able to run around and exercise like we were, but she can't. Most people would make up so many excuses under the sun of why they shouldn't do a workout or why they shouldn't go for a walk when my mum physically can't. So that has made me realize that I literally can't take the most smallest things for granted, and I have so much more gratitude towards my life. That is the reason why I started my business. It also helped me go into this retreat and for my own self-development journey, because there's always room for improvement for anyone and everyone. I did that, reflecting on my mum, which I was in a very emotional state. It was just so beautiful. I did that, went for a hot girl walk and went to Paddock, the same place we were from the Friday, get drinks. And I'd never had a matcha before. That's just not like the thing here in like Melbourne. It's just like coffee, which I don't even drink coffee either. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try this matcha. So one of the girls had a vanilla matcha, and I was like, yep, I'm gonna try this. And I actually liked it. And if you know me, I'm the most pickiest eater in the whole entire world. I hate so much food. Like, I'm happy to try food, but most of the time I just hate it. And I can't like repeat meals and stuff like that. Like, food is a very complex thing for me. But I tried this matcha and I liked it. I'm now gonna be a matcha girly, like, get me on board. Back for breakfast. It was an amazing, massive spread of just like eggs, bacon, yogurt, fruit. It was just so yum. Did a bit of breath work afterwards, which I obviously practice regular breath work. So I'm very much familiar with things to do. So a lot of the girls found it a very emotional experience, and it was still an emotional experience for me, but I felt like the workout was definitely more emotional experience for me than breath work itself. We had to write a letter to ourselves that whenever any time that we sort of like slip from our self-love journey and our self-sabotage sort of creeps in and the ruminating thoughts, we go back to this note to reflect and remind ourselves of our why and our purpose. That was really powerful. I think I got a bit more emotional from writing that letter to myself. We had lunch, poke bowls. Also never had a poke bowl. I only had like a Mexican bowl. Yum, so good. And then once we'd done that, we had a bit of free time. So we were like getting in the pool because there's just a gorgeous pool at the Airbnb, which was just, it was just perfect weather. Like, it was gorgeous. And then once we had done the free time and we had a swim or whatever, we did hot girl Pilates in our bikinis. That at times can be quite confronting in the sense of like, you know, the ruminating thoughts can come back in and be like, I'm not pretty enough. Basically, yeah, the ruminating thoughts will come in that you just weren't enough, or you weren't attractive enough to be able to actually like do this exercise in a bikini, or just have so much hate towards yourself. But it was a really powerful experience in the sense of it made you feel so confident in your own skin, and really powerful in the sense that you're doing Pilates and it was challenging, and that aspect of just like being the baddest bitch and the best version of yourself. It was awesome. Loved it. We were along the pool doing the Pilates, which was just awesome. Once we had done that, we had a little bit more free time, and then we went into our embodiment practice, which a lot of the girls said it was their favorite practice, and it was mine. Something that I have struggled with for a couple of years now is my negative connotations towards like sex and just feeling sexy and stuff like that. It made me feel so much more connected to myself, which was just so beautiful. We basically just played some sexy music and we all danced one at a time. And for me, it was a bit challenging in the sense of like, I could dance sexy, that's fine. It doesn't mean I'm feeling sexy, because I had that split, especially being a dancer, in the sense of like, I can do these things perfectly fine. And I'm doing the splits and clearly doing like choreographed moves. I wasn't feeling connected to myself. When I voiced this to the group, I was like, well, yeah, I can dance sexy, but doesn't mean I'm feeling sexy. I'm not feeling connected. So we had to change that. Then it was, you know, I would close my eyes and it was more just like just feeling every inch of my body and just feeling so connected to myself. And it wasn't me doing moves, really, being in the present. And that was really powerful. We like sat on a pillow and closed our eyes, and Chelsea brought our 5 senses into practice, which I've never been so present in my life. Really like clap your hands in front of me or scream in my face and I wouldn't flinch. Like, I was so present. And then she gave us a strawberry to taste. That was part of our 5 senses. Oh my God, it was the best bloody strawberry of my whole entire life. It was so yum. It was so good. It's just amazing. And then we closed our eyes, she played music, and it was just about like just feeling every sort of inch of our body. I felt so connected to myself. So that was beautiful. Then we had dinner, which was steak. Love a good steak. And it was bedtime, ready for day 3, last day. Day 3, Sunday, was final day, which was very emotional in the sense of like having to say goodbye to everyone. We got up early again to go to the beach for our final workout, and there was this beautiful sunrise. It was absolutely stunning. And obviously being from Melbourne, an hour away from the beach, I don't really get to experience anything like this before. It was just so impeccable. We then did our final workout boot camp, which started off with a run to sort of warm up. And then we went into the real shit. It's like we drew a line in the sand, and then a few meters forward, another line in the sand. We would run to the line, do 10 squats, 10 crab crawls, 10 push-ups, and then lunge all the way back. And my mind, it was literally the whole time, it was mind over matter. Most of the time, your brain wants to give up before you physically can't do it anymore. You always have more in you, but your brain wants to give up first. So I kept telling myself, mind over matter. And I felt as though I fucking smashed that. I did not stop. I know that's a lie. I did stop because I was trying to ask Chelsea, how many rounds are we doing? And she just went, just keep going. I was like, okay. I just fucking went for it, and I was very proud of myself in that. And she made us do burpee rounds, which that was a lot harder, especially on sand, and you're just like slipping in the sand, but that's okay. We just kept going. And then she made us close our eyes. She spoke to us, and then she played the song Running by Beyonce. And then we just had to like just charge for the sand, which was just so powerful, and just you just went for it. And then we ran back. One girl, poor love, she fell in the sand, but then she got herself back up, and it was like the motto of just like when you fall down, you're just going to get yourself back up. And yes, kudos to her 100%. It was just the most amazing experience. And then we were going to leave, and all of us just went, we need to like run into the water, like we must. So we did. We just like ran and charged for the water, and it was just so releasing and just so beautiful, and just felt so like accomplished. Walked back to the paddock for another drink. It's the go-to spot it was. And then we came back to our final reflection, which was so beautiful, just reflecting on even just the growth from day 1 to day 3, which was just so powerful. And I was definitely leaving there on such a high. And then we did our last sort of meditation, which Chelsea brought out a beautiful singing bowl to use for it. And it was basically about stepping into our best version of ourselves and seeing this person in this light, what colour it was. And we all said the same colour. We were like orange, yellow. We all agreed on, we all had sort of the same colour that we were like resonating and feeling about ourselves. And then we had to say goodbye. That was the most depressing part of it. Having to say goodbye to everyone was just like, it was so nice to be around like-minded women that value the exact same things as you. I felt like I knew these girls for years, my whole entire life. And in reality, it was literally just 3 days, which is just insane. But my flight was later. We checked out at like 12, and my flight was at 5, which there was another girl whose flight was also at 5, but just to a different location. So 4 of us, we spent time together for the afternoon. We went and got acai, which I've never had before. Loved it. Went to the beach and just sat top of the hill and just watched and talked. And then we went to this restaurant, and we just had a couple of things to eat, and then it was time to go. It was also obviously really sad. Excited to obviously bring home everything I learned and put it into practice, but also just say goodbye to these amazing women, which I know I will see again. Aim is to do a retreat with Chelsea once a year. Hopefully in the future, when Future Bree watches this back, I'll also be doing my own retreats here in Melbourne, because I would love to be able to form that sisterhood like I did with these girls, other like-minded women, and also take home the exact same feelings and lessons. It was hands down the best experience of my life, and I 100% recommend it to everyone. It was just amazing. It was just awesome. And luckily, because I still have one-on-ones with Chelsea myself, we had a one-on-one yesterday, and it was really good to just reflect, bring up all the feelings that I've had since obviously coming back home from the retreat and being back to my reality. And I'm definitely putting everything into practice, because obviously there's so much more room for improvement. Yeah, that was pretty much my experience. But now it's time to be back in my reality. I am putting things into practice. A friend of mine who's also a client of mine, and we did a plate smashing exercise yesterday, which is sort of the same sort of thing as the medicine ball, where we wrote down all the things we want to let go of, and we smashed the plates, and that was really releasing. That was so beautiful. But now moving forward, I am so excited to see the business grow. Be able to help so many other women in their own self-development journey. Just see you all grow and live your ultimate dream life, because everyone needs to, everyone deserves to. We need to make sure we don't take things for granted. Anyways, from here on, most of my videos will just be normal vlogs, sense of just what's been happening in my life, the business growing and stuff like that. I am also a dance teacher who works extensive hours for 2 different studios, and I also work for a business that teaches different primary and secondary schools. I also work with my partner. I also work in childcare here and there. So I am a busy galley, and I also try to do a lot of things to live my life to the complete fullest. I look forward to bringing you guys along in my journey with my business and also my own self-development, which is just so exciting. Can't promise that it's going to be like every week, but we will do our best. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.